Hello and welcome to the workshop. On today's episode, we're going to make a project using these old CDs. So my original plan for this project was to glue all these CDs together and then turn them on the lathe. But earlier this week, I put a photo on my Patron page asking my members whether I should keep these CDs whole or break them into pieces. And as you can see, there was an overwhelming response to break them up. Now I think that's a good idea because as you can see here, when the light hits the plastic, it gives off all these beautiful colours. And if we kept them in a stack like this, you just wouldn't see it. Now if you guys saw the vlog earlier this week, you would have seen me try to cut a CD by using a pair of scissors. And as you can see, it turned out quite good. So I think the first thing I need to do is grab a handful of these and start cutting them up. Okay, what's going to be first? Pirates of the Caribbean. Now, is it Caribbean or Caribbean? Let me know. Oh, here's a good one. The Simpsons. Now, I'm only going to take a few pieces from each CD because I don't want all the labels to look the same. Look what I've just realised. This is the Batman with Robert De Niro in it. Now if you guys have seen the vlog, you'll get that reference.
Actually reminds me more of in Batman, Penguin.
Oh yeah,
Robert De Niro.
No, not Robert De Niro,
No?
Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
He's going in it for sure. Look what I found. Now we really do have Robert De Niro. I couldn't add Scooby-Doo without adding Garfield. Have a look at this. It's got Blockbuster on it. Blockbuster Springwood. Don't think there are any Blockbusters anymore, are there? Hopefully this wasn't a non-returned rental. Hopefully we bought it. You know what? I think that might do us. So when I first thought about making this project, I envisioned cutting all these pieces, putting them into a pot of resin, stirring it up and having them suspend in the middle. But as Nicole proved to me earlier on this week, they all sink to the bottom. So that's going to be a bit of a problem because if we just dump these in a cup of resin, that's what it's going to look like. So I think what I'm going to have to do is take all these pieces and glue them together in the shape that we want. Now the easiest way for me to do that is with some UV resin and my UV torch. So with the help of Nicole, I managed to get all my CDs glued together. So the next thing I need to do is pop it into my container and then mix up some resin. So you would have noticed there that I added a bit of blue tint and some glitter. Now the main reason for the blue tint is I've actually mixed up 800 mils, which is way above the manufacturer's specifications. Now what's going to happen is that's going to heat up a lot. And when resin heats up, it can have a tendency to turn slightly yellow. So to combat that, I've put a little bit of blue in there so that way we won't see it. But I think it's looking really good. So the next thing I need to do is pop this in the pressure pot. Now for my original subscribers, you guys will know that I haven't used pot cam for quite a while. So guess what? In today's episode, it's back. So let's pop this in the pot and watch it on pot cam. So it's now the next day, and when I got up this morning, I had a thought. We used a lot of resin in that container yesterday, and when we use a lot of resin, it generates a lot of heat. Now I'm wondering if the heat from that resin has melted any of these CDs. I guess there's only one way to find out, and that's to get it out of the pot. Looks like we might be all right. Not bad. So after having a closer look at this, it looks like the heat did play a factor in this, although not in the way I expected. I expected the heat to melt the CDs and kind of fold them over a little bit, but it looks like it's actually damaged the label on the outside. So instead of getting this nice prism look, it's kind of given it a matte finish. Although it also looks like an alien landscape. So I think it might still be okay. So I think the next thing I need to do is get it out of this container and glue it onto a waste block. That way we can turn it on the lathe. I just need to flatten this bottom up a little bit. It's got a little concave on it. Hi everyone, I just want to quickly interrupt this episode to let you guys know that in addition to turning this project, I've also turned myself a sphere. Now I'm going to show you guys this one at the end of the video, and I think you might like it. I've crammed it full of DVDs. Well, I've got to admit, I'm actually surprised that this turns so well. I actually thought that maybe the CDs might have come away from the resin a little bit, but they look really good. So now that I've finished turning the egg, I need to take it off my big lathe and go put it on the smaller one. That way we can start sanding. So if it's your first time here, you might be wondering why I swap lathes to sand. Well, I do a lot of wet sanding, as you can see by the back wall here, and it makes a lot of mess. So I like to do it on one of my cheaper lathes. That way I keep my expensive lathe in good nick. Okay, now that I've finished sanding, we can give it a polish. If you guys want to try this polish for yourself, I've got kits available in my Etsy store. Well, now that all that polishing's finished, it's time to have a look. But before we do, I wanted to let you guys know that this egg is now available in my Etsy store. And if I've added a couple of your favorite movies into this one, I reckon it might make a sweet gift. So if you guys are interested, I'll leave a link in the description. Now let's check it out.